I was out for my friend's birthday party, and the night had been a whirlwind of laughter, music, and drinks. As the clock struck 2 a.m., I decided it was time to head home. I was more than a little tipsy, but I convinced myself I could make it back in my trusty Toyota Camry 2008. The winding road seemed endless, and the darkness outside only added to the sense of isolation. My eyelids drooped, and the alcohol coursing through my veins blurred my judgment. I should have pulled over and taken a nap, but I was determined to reach home, and that was my first mistake. As I drove deeper into the night, the gas gauge taunted me, inching closer to empty. Panic gripped me as I scanned the surroundings for a gas station, but all I saw were ominous, shadowy woods that stretched into the inky darkness. My heart raced as the needle dipped perilously into the dreaded red zone. The engine sputtered, and with one final gasp, it fell silent. I was stranded in the middle of nowhere, alone and shrouded in darkness. The deafening silence outside was only broken by the sound of my own shaky breath. Fear clawed at me as I tried to reach for my phone, but to my dismay, it displayed no signal. My surroundings felt eerie, and I locked the car doors, huddling in the driver's seat for safety. I was alone, isolated, and absolutely terrified. Hours passed, and I was caught in a perpetual state of dread. Every rustle of leaves, every distant hoot of an owl sent shivers down my spine. I watched the woods just beyond the road with a gnawing sense of unease. Something wasn't right, and I could feel it in the air. It was when the clock struck 3 a.m. that I noticed it, a shadowy figure moving in the woods. I watched in paralyzed horror as it drew closer, taking slow and deliberate steps towards my car. My heart raced as fear began to strangle me. The figure approached, its face shrouded in darkness, and I could see nothing but two cold, unrelenting eyes. I tried to start the car, but it refused to respond, and that's when the sinister voice, chilling and low, pierced the air. "Come out." The voice sent a shiver down my spine, and I knew I had to flee. I flung open the car door and sprinted into the darkness, my feet stumbling over uneven ground, heart pounding louder than my footsteps. The menacing voice pursued me, whispering threats and curses that seemed to echo through the trees. I was in a state of drunken panic, and I knew I had to put distance between me and my pursuer. Time lost all meaning as I ran, and the woods seemed to stretch on infinitely. The sinister whispers grew louder, and it was clear that my pursuer was closing in. My breaths came in ragged gasps, and I could feel my strength waning. It was only a matter of time before he caught up with me. Just when I felt I couldn't go on any longer, I stumbled into a clearing. The moonlight bathed the area in a pale, silvery glow, revealing a small, desolate cabin. Without thinking, I dashed inside, barricading the door with a nearby table. Trapped in the eerie cabin, I listened to the sinister voice as it continued its menacing whispers, taunting me from outside. I dared not make a sound, for fear that it would give away my location. Exhaustion eventually overcame me, and I drifted into a restless sleep. The night was filled with haunting dreams of the sinister figure and his malevolent whispers. I awoke with a start as the dawn's light filtered through the cabin's windows. The sinister presence seemed to have retreated, and it was finally safe to leave. I made my way back to the road, my body battered and bruised, and hitched a ride to where I had left my Toyota Camry. The sun had risen, and the world seemed strangely ordinary, as if the horrors of the night had been nothing more than a nightmare. But as I approached the spot where I had run out of gas, my heart sank. My car was gone. There was no trace of it. I couldn't fathom how it had disappeared in the few hours I had been away. To this day, I have no answers. My car, along with the terrors of that night, remains a mystery. I never saw the sinister figure again, and I have no clue who could have taken my car, especially when it had run out of gas. The events of that night continue to haunt me, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are never meant to be solved, and some horrors are best left in the shadows.